everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me. I'm going to be using several new products that I've recently got. I use the new Huda Beauty mascara. I also am going to be using the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate in Intensity 1 and 2. I know that a lot of you guys out there have been asking for me to kind of give you guys my opinion on them, what the differences are between them on my skin tone. So I'm going to get into all of that. And I also share something that I have decided to do, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. So we're going to get into that. It was a big decision, but I have made it. I just turned 41. I'm a big girl and I'm making my own decisions. So that's what we're doing in today's video. Nothing super over the top, just something fun, lighthearted, just to start off the week with a fun, nice makeup look and with some news that I'm going to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the makeup look. I've already applied my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I also just had to put on a little bit of the Magic Vanish from Tilbury. I got me a little busy boy friend that has just completely overstayed his welcome, and yeah, I don't know what's breaking me out. Last week sometime I started using the Charlotte Tilbury elixir. Well, maybe it's been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's breaking me out. It's just I got some suspicions on what's doing it, but I started breaking out over here and I got this little friend, and yeah, it's time to put some foundation on. So I have some things to talk to you guys about today. I'm kind of nervous about it because anytime you do stuff like this, you just get judged. No matter what, you get judged. Okay with the judgment, but you're still nervous about it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to apply some of my Pat McGrath foundation. We're going to have a little conversation. So I just turned 41 and so I just turned 41, and for the last, I would say 2 years or so, I have been wanting to get a little bit of something in my lips. Nothing big, nothing major. Don't get too freaked out or excited about it. But I have wanted to get just a tiny bit of something because, I don't know, for me, since I've started to age, my lips have gotten more thin, kind of just not as perky and plump as they once was. And I've been wanting to do it for a really long time. And I thought, you know what? I just turned 41. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with what I am. I'm happy with being 41. You guys know I'm very honest about the Botox and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to put a little bit of something in my lips. Now, when I say a little something, I mean just a little something. I've never been a fan of big filled lips. I think that there is a point of too much, and to each is their own. Whatever makes people happy, I don't judge. But for me personally and what I like, I just want a little teeny bit of something just to kind of give them a little bit of life, but not too much. Not to make them look totally different, or, the one thing that I don't like about lip fillers is that I don't like how they take away the natural creases of lips. And, there's some influencers that I have seen just completely fill their lips to the point where they have no lines left. I mean, there's just nothing there. And they're just really smooth and, real full. That's not the look I'm going for. I want something more natural, just a little teeny bit of something. And, the guy that does my Botox, he's really good at this stuff. And the thing that I like about him is that he likes to add a little bit at a time, because his philosophy is he would rather err on the side of caution and add a little bit than too much, because it's always easy to add, but it's hard to take away. So the plan is he is going to put a tiny bit of something in my lips today. I'm really nervous about it, but I trust him and I trust his methods and the way that he works. So he's just going to do a little bit at a time, just a little bit, let the swelling go down, see how they look. And then if I want them a little bit bigger, we can add a little bit more. but my lips are just getting thin and like my mouth is starting to kind of droop a little bit. And so it's just something that bothers me. I've made the executive decision that I'm going to do something about it. So that's my news. I'm going to go ahead and put some of the Pat McGrath concealer on my face because it is really, it is in need of some extra help. So that's my news. And I don't know why I'm so nervous about it. Like, I'm not nervous about the judgment because people, you know, people have a right to their own opinion and I'm okay with that. I mean, it's a free country. I'm okay with people judging me. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be on this platform. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be in this world, you have to be okay with that. And I am. I'm totally okay with it. I'm excited about it and I'm doing it for me. I don't know that my husband's all that excited about it, but he's never been one to, you know, stop me from doing what I want to do when it comes to myself. Whew, I gotta take a breath. Yeah, I'm gonna pre-film a few videos today just so that I have a little bit of time to heal up and let the swelling go down. But again, I'm not doing too much. It's not like I'm, you know, going in too ham all of a sudden. I'm just going to add a little teeny bit today, see what it looks like when the swelling goes down. And then if I need a little bit more, we'll add a little bit more. And that's kind of the road that I'm taking with it. And if I put a little bit in today and I think it looks fine and I'm good with it, then I'll leave it there. I'm not going to put fillers anywhere else, but I need something for my lips. My lips are just, I don't know. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. So it's not like I just made this decision. It's not like I'm having a 41-year-old midlife crisis or anything. I've been wanting to do it for a while. And I told my husband a couple weeks ago, I'm like, it's time. It is time for me to take care of these lips and, you know, have a little bit of fun. You only live once. And worst case scenario, if I don't like them, I can always have it dissolved. You know, that's always an option. I'm going to do my brows really quick off camera just because you guys know how hard it is to do your brows while you talk. It's just way too hard. So I'll go ahead and do my brows and I will be right back. Okay. So recently you guys know that I fell hard in love with the Shade and Illuminate cream contour from Tom Ford. So I originally bought Intensity 1 and I like the shade, don't get me wrong, but I fell so in love with it. I was curious about shade 2. My curiosity got the best of me, and somehow I ended up on the website buying another one. I don't know how it happened. It just happened. So I have Intensity 2 here, and many of you guys have asked me, what's the difference between number 1, number 2? Like, give me some information. And let me say this, for those of you that are close to my shade range, both shades actually work really well for me. And personally, shade 2, once you put it on and blend it out, you really can't tell the difference between the two. But I wanted to do it on camera for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like and kind of see the dimension, maybe the different dimension in tone. So this is Intensity 2. And I'm going to use my Refer number 17 brush. I'm just going to lightly... You can see this one is definitely more of a cooler toned color on my skin tone. And I like to bring whatever's left on the brush like up here around my forehead and then kind of start blending this in. But this kind of blends itself. It really does. It's a nice contour. Now I like to go over it a little bit with my sponge here. I would say the biggest difference between Intensity 1 and Intensity 2, Intensity 2 is definitely more cool toned than 1. And it is one that I kind of really have to blend in more so than I do Intensity 1. I feel like Intensity 1 just like melts right in and blends right in. This one gives me a little bit sharper of an angle. They're both very similar on my skin tone. So let's go ahead and put Intensity 2. I've got 2 of these brushes, by the way. This is the brush I just used. I'm gonna go ahead and use this brush. So let's go ahead and put Intensity 1 on this side. So here we have intensity 1 on this side and intensity 2 on this side. Now, the only difference for me personally, the only difference between these two is that this is just a little bit cool toned and a little bit darker once you blend it out. When I use intensity 1, I normally don't have to go over it with a sponge, but I do just to make sure that it's nice and blended. But with intensity 2, I have to make sure that I go in with a sponge. It's a little bit darker, but I think as summer comes, I think I'll probably reach for number 2 more so than I will number 1. But I think number 1 is a perfect shade for me during the winter time. So it just depends on what you're looking for when it comes to the color and the depth of the color. Obviously, number 2 is much deeper than number 1. But once it blends out on the skin, it really doesn't look all that much different. As you can see, they look very same, right? They look really similar. I think you can obviously build up intensity 2 a little bit more than you can 1, but I think if you're my skin tone, I think you could probably pull off both shades. Just depends on the depth that you want. And I would also say that intensity 1 is a little bit more warmer toned than intensity 2. So this is intensity 1 and this is intensity 2. There's not a lot of differences between them. Just a little bit. This one's got a little bit more of a cool toned. This one is a little bit kind of on the neutral side. So I hope that that helps you guys. But truthfully, both shades are great. And I think that you can blend both of them out really easily. I just think intensity 1 for me personally right now with my skin tone, you know, as I start getting out into the sun more and more, my skin is going to get a little darker for the summer. I definitely think I'll be pulling for number 2 more so than number 1, but I think both shades are really great. Now I'm going to move on to using my new favorite bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury. I reviewed this recently and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. This is one of the best bronzers on the market. It just melts just so beautifully into the skin without any muddiness, without nothing. And it just makes everything look so soft and so filtered. It's unbelievable how beautiful this bronzer is. And I am so happy that Charlotte Tilbury created a bronzer in this formula. It's Balm. So I'm going to use the shade Tan. And I'm just going to lightly kind of go over top of that contour. Kind of buff everything in. I'm impressed with the overall bronzer. The size of it, the fact that she created refills for the component. And I mean, you get a lot of product in this pan and you can also get refills for $39. And I think this was a well thought out launch. Like she really thought this through. I wish that she created refills for the powder. Holy crap. The powder I love, like I absolutely love the powder, and this bronzer is bomb. The other thing that I like about it too is it's very buildable. It's a very, very buildable, soft bronzer. You can build it up to whatever you want. If you don't want a lot, you can add just a tiny bit and it blends right into the skin. And it's a 2-for-1. So you're getting a powder and a bronzer all in one. And I just think it's fabulous. Like one of the best bronzers, you guys. Wow, that bronzer is awesome. This is the Beach Please Cream Blushes from Tower 28. This is in the shade Golden Hour. Very pigmented. It's way different than Fenty. The Fenty cream bronzers, I just actually tapped some off on my hand. The Fenty cream bronzers are extremely buildable. You're able to build that pigment to the intensity that you want. Tower 28 is the same way, but these are much more pigmented and you get much more payoff than you do with the Fenty Beauty. But now I like to go over mine with a little bit of powder and kind of buff everything together. And it seems like with the Tower 28, I'm able to do that without losing any of the color. Fenty cream blushes I want to use on the days that I'm not going to put any powder on. If you're like me and you like to powder a little bit, it seems like something like this from Tower 28 or the ones from Honest Beauty, you kind of, you can go over top of it with powder and you still have the color there. And if you're also like me and blush is the first thing to wear off on you throughout the day, I kind of would say that the Tower 28 or the Honest Beauty, I think they're going to last you longer than the Fenty Beauty. So I'm going to go in with my Hourglass powder, which you all know is my favorite. So I'm just going to pick some up and just, I like to kind of start around my chin and then just kind of buff into my cheeks as I go. This is a trick that I learned from watching Mel Thompson. You guys know Mel is a friend of mine, and she has some of the most flawless looking makeup on YouTube. Let's just be clear. She has some of the prettiest makeup. And what I think always makes her makeup stand out is the fact that every line, she doesn't have any lines. Everything just looks very buffed in. And it's that buffing technique that she uses with powder that really buffs it in. Now, she wears more powder than I do. She can get away with wearing a little bit more powder than I do. But, you know, for me personally, I like to add just a little bit of powder. So now I'm going to spray with some of my Hourglass setting spray. I've been really enjoying this. I can't lie. I love this spray. It's good. It's really good. Okay, so of course I'm going to use this Hourglass palette. Oh, I'm obsessed with this palette, you guys. I'm absolutely obsessed. It's such a great palette. So good. Normally, I run my brush through all three of the shades because I think all three of the shades melt so pretty together. I'm just going to go right over top of my cheeks with all three of the shades. I just think they melt so good into the skin. Now for the final task, I'm going to take this amazing powder from Charlotte Tilbury and just go over those areas right here on the front like I always like to do. This is my favorite powder for the T-zone area. It just gives you that really pretty airbrush look. Okay, so I'm kind of in the mood for something a little creamy, but also a little bit sparkly. And I have my two Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream eyeshadows, which is one of my favorite cream eyeshadows. And I think the reason why I love these the most is that they last on me all day. Now, I did put down some of my P. Louise eyeshadow base and I put down some powder just to kind of set that in place. Now, I have dry, normal skin. I don't have oily eyelids. So for me personally, the Eyes to Mesmerize lasts all day and looks so beautiful. So I was thinking about maybe putting that on the lid and kind of bringing it up into the crease. And then also maybe grabbing some of my Hourglass. These are the scattered light glitter eyeshadows. I have them in 4 shades. 2 shades that I have from Charlotte Tilbury. I have Rose Gold and I have Maria Antionette. So this is the Rose Gold. This is the Maria Antionette. And then I have these 2 shades from Hourglass, and I was thinking about putting them on top. This one is in the shade Ray, and this one's in the shade Smoke. I think I'm going to go with these 2. These 2 are really pretty, but I think these 2 would just go really good together. All of them would go good together. I mean, even these 2 shades would go pretty together. I think I'm going to go with Maria Antionette from Charlotte Tilbury. And then I'm going to go with the shade Smoke from Hourglass. I'm going to grab this brush from Sonia G. This is the Worker Pro. And I'm going to grab a little teeny bit of the Maria Antionette. Like you don't need very much of this. And you want to go in very lightly with it and build it, because you don't want a thick layer of it. If you get it too thick, it will crease too much. It's really beautiful and you don't really need a lot. Slowly kind of work this on my lid and kind of bringing it up into the crease. It's so pretty though. And this is one of my favorite products to use when you're in a hurry and you need just a little bit of color on the lid. Oh, it's amazing, because truthfully with these, you really don't even need to add any eyeshadow if you don't want to. So I'm just bringing whatever's left on the brush up into the crease. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the Hourglass Scattered Lights in the shade Smoke. I'm going to use the exact same brush. So I'm just going to pick some up here on the brush and then I'm going to spray it down just to kind of control the fallout. I'm just going to place this on my lid and just make it a little bit extra shiny and sparkly. So I'm gonna leave that there with both of those, but I'm gonna add just a little teeny bit of like a cool tone shade. Now, I know that the NARS Skin Deep palette isn't being sold anymore, which they should bring it back. P.S. NARS, you should bring this palette back. But I want to grab a mixture between this shade and kind of bring some neutral back in. Any neutral brown shade that you can find that has a little bit of a gray undertone will work for this. Like, you don't have to have this palette. But I want to mix these two and just add just a tiny, tiny bit of dimension on the lower lash line. And I'm just bringing whatever's left on the brush into the crease, just here on the outer corner, just a tiny, tiny bit. So I am going to line my upper waterline with a pencil. Use my Hourglass. This is the 1.5 mm mechanical eye gel liner. I've been really, really enjoying this liner. It's very expensive. You don't get very much product, but it's so small and it fits in those little teeny crevices that you need a little bit of something. I'm just gonna go ahead and place this on my upper waterline. I'm not going to put any lashes on today. I want my real lashes to appear to be a little bit fuller than they are. And in order to do that, it's always good to add just a little bit of liner. It just helps to thicken up those lashes. For my inner corner highlight, I think I'm going to add this shade on the inner corner from this palette. I think it would be really pretty. Okay, now that we have that done, let's pull out this Huda Beauty Legit Lashes. I also ordered the new one from Marc Jacobs, so as soon as it comes, I will, let you guys know. Now, this is a double-sided mascara, and I've heard really good things about it. I will say I wore it yesterday for the first time. I didn't have much makeup on. I had a little bit on, and then I put the mascara on to see if I had any problems with it, having any kind of raccoon eyes. You know how that is, where you just never know if a formula is going to bleed and, be up on your crease or down on the lower lash line or anything. And because I have to be particularly careful with that because I have such deep set eyes, my eyelashes will touch my crease. So I have to be really careful. So this is the volume side. So this is what the brush looks like. It's kind of a cool shaped brush. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. And then the other side is the curl and length. So there are two different wands. So let me show you what they both look like. I think it's the same formula for both sides, just different wands, which is kind of genius. I know that she said it took her 5 years to create this, and it's really interesting. You guys know that I have been growing out my lashes, and on one side I have an issue with a gap. I have a gap right here. On this side, my lashes are getting better on this side. I'm gonna demo the mascara on this side so you guys can kind of see as I apply it. So I'm gonna use the volume side on my lashes. So that's one coat of the volume, and I'm just gonna continue to build it. There's 2 coats of this mascara, and I think it looks really pretty. It's getting a little bit thicker as I apply it, but the thing that I will say about this mascara that I've liked so far is that it doesn't get, like, it seems like it doesn't budge. Like, once it dries, it feels like it stays put. So far I'm really curious about it. I like to do 3 coats of mascara, so I'm going to do one more just to make sure they're nice and coated. I'm going to take this smaller brush, this one that's just a little bit more, seems like it's easier to apply lower lash line mascara with a brush that's a little bit smaller. so that is one eye done. And again, I feel like this is a mascara that if you need something to last all day long without bleeding or giving you any raccoon eyes, I think this is a good choice. But I do like the way this made my eyelashes look. Like, my eyelashes look really good. So let's move on to the lip. I want to use my new Wayne Goss lip liner in the shade Sepia. His lip liners are really smooth and they apply really pretty. I absolutely love his new lipstick. It's in the shade Camellia. I love this shade. I think it's so beautiful and I love the combination. When I was looking online and I was trying to figure out, I knew I was only going to buy one of each. I was trying to pair the lip liner with the perfect lipstick and this is just perfect. I love it. So I'm going to blend out the line with a brush. After today, I might not have to overline my lips. Okay, so this is the final look. This was just a fun kind of get ready with me and kind of start off the week with a nice fun makeup look. The next time I actually film again, I will have a little bit of a lip adjustment, just a little bit though, just a teeny little bit. I'm not gonna go overboard. I'm just gonna add a little bit of fullness to them, make them just look a little bit more plump, and that's it. So thank you guys all for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you again for all the love and the support that you show me. If you guys are against the whole lip thing, I get it. I respect your opinion. Just, you know, be gentle. Go gentle on me because I'm kind of nervous about it and I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm a little bit nervous about it. So be gentle. I love you all so much and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.